Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Sami here. Today we are gonna see, what if Naruto ate gum fruit before Chunin exam, part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please subscribe to our channel, and like this video. So let's get into the video. Naruto wasn't upset, he was pissed in every sense of the word. Now Naruto was never one to get this upset, but in the recent events, he couldn't describe how he felt. It started when Neji brutally beat up Hinata for something that she had no control over. He had always hated people like that. Always judging them without getting to know them first. That made him mad, sure, but what happened after the end of the preliminaries got him in this kind of mood. Flashback, I know it's early in the story, please don't hurt me. Naruto was walking up to the hospital to see how Sasuke was doing while thinking on how he could defeat Neji. I have to defeat Neji, I made a promise to Hinata, and I will never break my promises. Naruto thought while walking into hospital. Naruto walks up to the receptionist. Where's Sasuke's room? Naruto asks if the receptionist Sasuke-sama is currently not taking any visitors. The receptionist responded. Why? I cannot say. Naruto just huffed in exasperation. Have you at least seen Kakashi-sensei? Naruto asks. I can't say. Naruto. The receptionist got interrupted by a familiar voice. Naruto turns around and sees his Jonin-sensei, with his face dug deeply in a little orange book, and smiles. Hey, Kakashi-sensei. I need you to help train me for the Chunin exams. Naruto said excitedly, dreaming at the thought of learning new things. That dream however popped into his sensei's next sentence. Sorry Naruto, I can't train you for the Chunin exams, said Kakashi apathetically. As though he didn't even care about his students' training or well-being. What? Why? Naruto said, wondering why his sensei wouldn't even train him. I have something to do, so I don't have time to look after you. Kakashi said, in a still don't care attitude, not even looking at his student, and turned a page in his book. Naruto wasn't as stupid as everyone thought he was. Naruto knew that Kakashi-sen no Kakashi was going to train Sasuke. You're going to train Sasuke, aren't you? Naruto said, calling his so-called sensei out on it. Sorry Naruto, but Sasuke needs more training than you do. He is going up against Gaara after all. Still not looking up at Naruto. And I'm going against Neji, someone who has no remorse for almost killing their family. Naruto screamed, getting pissed off that his sensei won't even train him. Sorry Naruto, but your chakra control is horrible. I took the time to ask Abisu to help you with that. Kakashi said, still not looking up from his book. Naruto had enough. He grabbed the book and threw it into a garbage can, while glaring at Jonin. Abisu is not my sensei, you are. You're not supposed to just pawn me off whenever you feel like it. I don't need your pity. I'll train by myself and beat Neji, even if I have to sell my soul to the devil. With that Naruto ran out of the hospital, leaving a shocked Jonin and medical staff. Flashback end. We now find Naruto walking down the street, eyes focused on the ground. Finally, it said that he might actually have to train himself to beat Neji. What the hell am I supposed to do? How the hell can I train myself to beat Neji? All he has to do is poke me, and I'm a goner. Man, this sucks. Stupid Kakashi, pawing me off to Abisu like that. What a one-eyed asshole. Sorry to all Kakashi lovers out there, nothing personal. But the final half, he keeps walking in silence, not noticing the shadowy figure closing onto him. All of a sudden a hand touches his left shoulder, and spins him fast around. Finally, after spinning all the way around, he comes face to face with the cloaked man. He couldn't see the man's face, but he could tell he was old. His hands were almost as wrinkled as Hokage Jiji's, but he could tell that the man was strong just from his aura and grip. Boy, Jiji, let me. Do you want to be strong? The old man interrupted. Naruto was shocked by this sudden question. Of course he wanted to be strong, what sane ninja didn't? Of course I want to be strong. Naruto replied. Why? The old man questioned. Naruto didn't hesitate to answer. To protect my precious people, to protect my village, to show everyone that I'm not some dead last demon. Naruto said, finding his resolve. The old man had one more question. How far would you go? Would you sell your soul to the devil? Or was all that back there some mustered up courage that surfaced for a while, and now it's gone? Naruto paused and thought, before finally finding his answer. I said I'd do anything to protect them, and I never back down on my word. That's and don't you forget it. Naruto looked at the old man with determination in his eyes that few have. Naruto could feel the old man smirk. Said man let go of Naruto's shoulders and reached into his cloak. Naruto tensed at this, thinking the old man was going to pull out a weapon. Instead the man brought out a chest. It was an old, simple-looking, brown chest with a golden lock and trim, and handed it to Naruto. Then here you are. Looking down at the chest, he wondered what the old man was talking about. Boy, Jiji, what the hell are you looking back up? He noticed the old man was gone. Looking back down at the chest, he wonders what's inside. He decided to take it home and open it there. On his way home he wonders what could be inside. At first he thought it was gold, after all it is a chest, so maybe it was a treasure chest. Finally making it home, he starts to walk up the stairs, his mind still wondering what could be in there. Getting to his door, he finds his keys, and quickly opens it. As the anticipation to see was killing him. Quickly closing the door, he sets the chest on his dining room table and sits in front of it. He inspects, making sure there were no traps. Finding none, he opens it with a smile of anticipation, only for that smile to drop. As the only thing in the chest was a book, an old straw hat with a red band, and a strange fruit that looked like a violet melon-shaped fruit with swirls. That senile old man tricked me. There's nothing but stupid books and weird fruit. My two least favorite things. Naruto grumbled, thinking that the old man just did that for a laugh. Naruto sighed, wondering how he would get stronger by reading and eating fruits. And what the hell was with the straw hat? Naruto then decided to just skim through the book. Maybe it was an interesting book. He looked at the title to see it was called One Piece. He opened it, and a letter fell out. The letter read, "Dear reader, you're most likely thinking as to how a book, a hat, and a fruit can get you stronger. Let me tell you now that this is no ordinary book, hat, and fruit. First, the book. The book is a story, as old as you and I, about a crew of pirates sailing the world in order to find the legendary treasure One Piece. Yes, it's the title of the book. The hat belonged to the captain of this crew, and it has been through more adventures than any pirate to date. Now about the fruit. The fruit itself is called the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Yes, a strange name for a fruit, but the fruit in general is a rare thing called an Akuma no Mi. But in order to learn about that, you must first read about its origin and uses. Know now that thousands of men had lost their lives trying to find one of these fruits. All will be revealed in due time. And don't forget to pass on the will of the D. Sincerely, a senile old man." Naruto was shocked. To gain power that thousands have died for. It was a little unnerving. But instead of looking a gift horse in the mouth, he closed the chest, put it under his arm, grabbed the book, made it past the garbage on his floor, set the chest on the nightstand, sat on his bed, and started reading. He was mesmerized by it. Reading chapter after chapter, adventure after adventure. Sailing on the reverse mountain, and meeting Laboon the giant whale, finding out about Baroque works, the prehistoric land, and the giants, Drum Island, and the desert Alabasta, the Shichibukai crocodile, Jaya the lawless town, Knock Upstream, Sky Island, defeating the god of Skypia Enel, and his lightning loge of fruit ability, Water 7, and Eni's lobby, meeting Brook, and exploring the thriller bark, counter-attack against Moria, Sabati archipelago, and punching one of the world nobles, losing his, and landing on the Isle of Women, making Naruto blush. Charging headfirst into Impel Down to save his brother. Everything he did was amazing. He learned of what devil fruits are, what the one in the chest could do, what other ones could do. The loss of the ability to swim didn't even bother him. So what if he couldn't swim? It's not like he's always doing it. Even the hat amazed him. To him, it was proof of the adventures that they had together. It all amazed him to no end. Finally he finished it. Noticing the sun rising, he wondered how long he had been reading. Looking over at the chest, he makes his decision. Placing it on his lap, he opens it, finding the Gomu Gomu no Mi. Hesitantly picking it up, he lifts it up to his mouth. Opening his mouth, he bites down on it. And that bite began the story of Uzumaki D. Naruto. Time skip Chunin exam finals. Most of the candidates stood side by side in the giant arena, as the people in the stands mumbled among themselves. The only ones missing are Uzumaki Naruto, Uchiha Sasuke, and Dosu Kanuta. Shikamaru was thinking, oi, we're missing not only Sasuke, but Naruto as well. Troublesome. Up in the stands, Ino and Sakura were getting worried. Ino suddenly asked, what are the others doing? The matches are going to begin soon. Sakura was thinking, where's Sasuke-kun? Not only that, Naruto isn't here as well. Suddenly there was a whistle, and everyone went quiet and looked to where it came from, seeing a shadowy figure standing above the entrance. The figure was clearly male, and his face was shadowed by a straw hat on his head. The figure then jumped down to the competitors and landed softly on his feet in a crouch. The man then spoke, Ryu. That was close. I thought I was going to miss the exams. Standing up fully, the figure then placed the hat behind him, clearly being on a string, only to show blonde hair and familiar whisker-like marks on his cheeks. The man was none other than Uzumaki Naruto, Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Kitsune, nine-tailed fox, flashing his foxy smile. Only people barely recognized him. He grew his hair out, Shippuden hair. His face was a lot more angular now. A lot of women had a blush at this, including Tamari. He was no longer wearing that hideous orange jumpsuit that screamed with a megaphone, kill me. He was now wearing an orange button-up vest, thriller bark, black shorts, Eni's lobby arc, and sandals. He also wore a small kunai pouch on his back right hip, a small scroll on his left hip, and now had his hit I-8 forehead protector in black cloth tied around his left bicep. Ino and Sakura were one of the most shocked at the changes of our favorite blonde. Ino was the only one to voice all their thoughts. Whoa. What happened to Naruto? Yup, everyone, he looks hot. Okay, except for that part. Naruto started walking towards the competitors. How troublesome is Naruto? What took you so long? Asked Shikamaru. Naruto looked over at the lazy Nar. While I was walking here, a horde of bulls started to charge at me, so I beat them up. Naruto said, still grinning while punching his palm. Everyone sweat dropped at this, thinking he was making up excuses like Kakashi. It was a pretty good warm-up, and they learned not to try and charge at me. No. Didn't you learn your lesson? Naruto said, looking back. As did everyone else, and was shocked to see a group of big, strong bulls with lumps and bruises on their heads bowing at him and crying while nodding their heads fast. Wouldn't you just love to see that? It's fine, you can go now. Naruto nodded. The bulls didn't hesitate and quickly ran off. Turning back to the proctor, Genma, he nodded his head, signaling to continue. Genma got out of his shocked state and nodded back and turned around facing the crowd. Stand up straight and show your faces to the crowd, Genma said to the finalists. Naruto smirked and placed his hat back on his head and then grinned as the crowd roared with applause. You guys are the main players in the upcoming match, Genma stated as the people kept clapping. Up in the cage booth radio, a shinobi with brown spiky hair and a large scar on his left cheek was talking to the Hokage. Sasuke is still missing. The Hokage asked the ninjas standing next to him. Several Anbu teams are searching for him, but he is nowhere to be found. He may have already fallen into Orochimaru's hands already. If that is the case, it will be impossible to find him. The old Hokage closed his eyes before responding, I understand. It also appears as though the Mizukage and the Reikage have arrived at the exams, despite not having a ninja go through to the finals, stated the same ninja before hearing a group of footsteps. The Sandame turned to see the Reikage. A burly man with dark skin, slick back white hair with a yellow tint, a few wrinkles, and a small mustache and beard. He was wearing his Reikage robe without a shirt under it, and his Reikage hat, which had the kanji for thunder on it. On each wrist he wore gold bangle bracelets that looked extremely heavy, along with a gold belt with a lion's face engraved onto it. This was the Yondaime Reikage, that's his name, it's pronounced A. Behind him was a beautiful, blonde teenage girl wearing dark purple pants up to mid-calf, with her ankles wrapped up in medical tape. A purple shirt with dark purple high collar and sleeves, her forearms wrapped up as well. She also wore fingerless gloves with beads on her left forearm. She had long blonde hair that was wrapped up in a ponytail, and her aide around her head. This was Naruto, Kumagakure Chunin, and Jinchuriki of the Nibi no Bakaneko, two-tailed monster cat. Next to the Reikage was beauty like no other. Rust red hair that was down to her ankles and covered her right eye, jade green eyes, the face of an angel, wearing a deep blue garment over a web mesh bodysuit. At the top of her head was a top knot. This was the Godame Mizukage, Terumime. Behind her was a young-looking swordsman ninja. He was wearing black-rimmed glasses connected to what appeared to be headphones. He also wore a striped shirt and camouflage pattern pants. Also, he wears his forehead protector like a badge on his chest. On his back was a strange, wrapped-up, dual-handled sword. This was Shijiro, Kurigakure Jonin, and one of the 7 ninja swordsmen of the mist. The next person that came wore a blue traditional cage robe, and a cage hat with the kanji for wind on it, and a veil over his face. This was the fake Yondaime Kazekage, Orochimaru, of the Densetsu no Sannin. Behind him were 2 unknown Sannin in tan cloaks. The Sandame got up to greet the fellow cages hello, and welcome Reikage Dono, Mizukage Dono, Kazekage Dono. I hope the trip wasn't too hard on you all, the Hokage asked. They all shook their heads at this, then smirked and said, if a little trip like that is tiring for me, then I'm not fit to be the Reikage. The Reikage said, flexing his arm. The Hokage laughed a little at this. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend you, Sandame responded while stepping to the side, motioning his fellow cages to walk by him, with the Reikage sitting on the far right, the Mizukage on his left, and the Kazekage on Sarutobi's left. The Mizukage then spoke up. It seems that Tsuchikage Dono didn't show up. Despite not being enemies anymore, we are also not allies. He made it clear that since none of his ninjas made it through, he shouldn't come and see the finals. The Hokage started, and the Mizukage just nodded. The Reikage then spoke up, just like an old man, thinking that since none of his ninja made it through he shouldn't come. Instead he should have come to gain new information on non-allied nations. The Reikage stated. Well, I find the thrill of the fight more exciting than the political advantages, said the Kazekage. The Reikage only snorted. You're just saying that cause all your ninja made it through. The Mizukage decided to intervene while looking at the blonde with the straw hat. Perhaps we should start the exams now. Many people are starting to look impatient. The Hokage nodded and stood up, walking over to the balcony. Then, let's begin this. The Hokage took a deep breath and started his speech. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the hidden village of Konoha's Chunin selection exam today. We will now begin the main matches with the 8 that have passed the preliminaries. Please enjoy the matches. Kitten, watch out for the blind in the straw hat, told the Nibi. What? Why? Asked Yujiro, confused as to why the Nibi no Bakaneko wanted her to watch out for an attractive male. Because I think he's from Kyuubi no Kitsune, Nibi stated. Yujiro was shocked that Kyuubi no Kitsune was in the Chunin exams. Why is he in the Chunin exams? Wouldn't Konoha want the Kyuubi to use its chakra? I don't think so. But just in case he was trained to, be careful. Nibi finished before going to take a cat nap. 8. I only see 7. Is one missing? Asked the Reikage, snapping Yujiro out of her stupor. The Hokage stayed silent and looked at the competitors. Genma started talking to the finalists. There are some things I need to tell you before the matches. He reaches into his vest and pulls out a piece of paper. Look at this. Everyone looked at it and saw their matches. There was a little change in the matchups. Check to see who you're going against. Naruto looked and frowned. He then walked forward and snatched a paper from Genma's hand. He then reaches into his kunai pouch and pulls out a pencil. He started to write on it and then handed it back. When Genma looked back at the sheet, he raised an eyebrow and then showed it back. Everyone else raised an eyebrow. All that changed was a D in the middle of Naruto's names. I had more matches the last time I looked. And what's with the D? Shikamaru thought while looking over at Naruto. How much more troublesome did you become in the month, Naruto? Genma just started speaking again. Listen up. Although the landscape is different, the same rules apply. As in the preliminaries, there are no rules. The match will only end when someone dies or gives up. But if I decide that the match is over, I will stop the match. Do not argue with me over it. Got it. The first match is Uzumaki d Naruto and Hyuga Neji. The rest of you need to go back to the waiting room. With that said, the rest started walking to the waiting room. Up in the stand, Hinata and Kiba were finding their seats. Hinata looked at Naruto and blushed a shade of red that would make an apple jealous. Naruto-kun. The two sitting next to them were discussing the fight. This looks like it's going to be an interesting match, huh? Yeah. But that Uzumaki kid's been fighting on luck to get here. He's going to need more than that to beat one of the elite Hyuga clan. Hinata frowned at this, but Kiba just smirked. Yeah, that's what I thought at first, but if you underestimate him, you'll end up with a fist to your face. Kiba thought, as he watched Naruto and Neji face each other. You understand that you're going to need more than a passive gas and a change of appearance to beat me. Neji said arrogantly. Naruto just smirked. Yeah, I know. That being said, he starts doing warm-up stretches. You should give up now. Fate has already declared me the winner. Neji stated in the same arrogant voice as before. You know that you talk too much. Naruto said, as he finished his warm-up and cracked his knuckles. Naruto then put his right arm forward in a closed fist and said, let's just hurry up, I have a promise to keep to Hinata-chan. With that, Neji activated his Byakugan and slipped into his gentle fist combat style. He frowned and thought, what's with his chakra? It's different from before. It's more stretchy. Naruto went into his own style that looked like it was made for a brawler, his left side facing Neji with his left arm slightly bent, as well as his right, and his legs spread. His eyes were covered by his hat. You will witness that fate decides everything. You cannot escape it. Shut up already, so that we can fight and see whose ideals are right. Naruto said, lifting his hat, eyes showing a fire that couldn't be extinguished. Now, the first match begins. At that, the crowd started to cheer. Both stood there unmoving in their respective stances. A leaf from the nearby tree floated in between them, until it fell to the ground, officially starting their match. Suddenly Naruto shot forward trying to catch Neji with a right hook, which Neji simply leaned backward to avoid, making Naruto fall forward with his left leg in the air. Naruto tried to spin kick Neji. But the Hyuga did a backflip, only to find Naruto straightened himself out, and was now charging it in with level speed, attempting to punch with a left hook this time, only to have it blocked with Neji's right. He then started to punch rapidly with both his hands. Each one was either blocked or dodged. All of a sudden, Neji got into Naruto's defense, and landed a hit on Naruto's right shoulder. Seeing Neji trying to do it again, Naruto rolls out of the way until he's a few meters away. Shit. That was too close for comfort. It seems I need to step it up a bit. Naruto thought of ending it with a smirk. Do you see now fate has already declared me the winner? You might as well stay down, because if you get back up, you're leaving here in a body bag. Neji said arrogantly. Naruto only kept up his smirk. I was only testing the gentle fist style that's so highly talked about, and let me tell you, I'm a bit disappointed. Naruto then got up and rolled his shoulders. As though it wasn't even hit. Neji narrowed his eyes. I guess I should stop holding back then. Huh. Naruto said, as he got back in his stance. The only difference was that he was holding his right shoulder. Gomu Gomu no Naruto started to say when suddenly he threw his arm back, and to the surprise of everyone there, his arm stretched back before he rocketed his closed fist at Neji, pistol. Punching Neji in the stomach, sending him into the arena wall behind Neji. His arm shot back to him, and it returned to normal. Naruto was grinning up a storm at the shocked faces of everyone there. But the one that made him grim the most was Neji's. How did you do that? Neji stuttered, trying to figure out what happened to Naruto's arm. I ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi, rubber fruit, making me Gomu Ninja, rubber man. Naruto said happily while pulling his cheek out, showing that it stretches. Gomu Gomu no Mi. Neji repeated, trying to figure out how a fruit made Naruto do that. Yep. It's a rare type of fruit called an Akuma no Mi, devil fruit, that allows my body to turn to rubber. Pretty cool, huh? Naruto stated, still grinning at the fact that everyone was shocked, even the cages. Sarutobi was shocked at the fact that Naruto, of all people, found this fruit. Though this might be the reason Jiraiya couldn't find Naruto. He must have been training to use this Akuma no Mi. Amazing. He was impressed that Konoha had a power like that. I wonder if there are more of these Akuma no Mi fruits. Mei smirked, thinking on the lines of cute, strong, good sense of humor, and a gentleman, if the promise to this Sonata girl is anything to go by. I think I might get to know him a whole lot better while slightly licking her lips. Orochimaru was practically drooling at the thought of more of these fruits. Maybe, if I forced the Kyuubi brat to tell me where he got a fruit like that, I could experiment a little. Vegito, as well, was shocked and decided to ask her demon to shed some light on the subject. Or, Neji. What the hell was that? His arm just stretched out and decked the Hyuga. I can't tell you exactly. But what I can tell you is that power is older than I am. Neji said, while focusing intently on the blonde. Vegito was, as well, shocked by this information. And, as well, focusing on the blonde. The crowd had mixed feelings about it, but Ino summed it up. What the hell was that? Naruto only looked up at her and gave her a small frown. I already told you, I ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi, making me Gomu Ninja, Rubber Man. Naruto then turned to Neji, who was getting up after the punch, who said, it doesn't matter what you do or eat, fate has already declared me the winner. Neji said in an angry tone. Naruto just tilted his hat down and slipped back into his brawler stance before looking up with a smirk, and we'll see. So, that's why he is different. It's the stretch with his body. Amazing. Neji wiped the blood off of his lip and reactivated his Byakugan and went back into the gentle fist, glaring at the blonde. Let's go. With that, Naruto charged at Neji, who charged back. Punching forward with his right hand, he yells, Gomu Gomu no pistol. Shooting his hand at Neji like before, only this time Neji stepped to his right, while seeing that Naruto's hand was stuck in the wall. He then suddenly hears Gomu Gomu no Kama, side. And sees Naruto, using his Byakugan, stretch out his other arm in an attempt to clothesline him. Neji ducks this, and rolls forward, trying to make some distance. After regaining his bearings, he sees Naruto, hand stuck in the wall, standing on the wall. Noticing that he was using chakra to stick, he sees Naruto pry his hand from the wall, and front flip onto the ground. Kicking his leg, Naruto yells, Gomu Gomu no Muchi, whip. It stretches at Neji in an attempt to kick Neji's side, but his white-eyed opponent flipped over it, making the leg snap back to Naruto. Naruto charged and started to punch rapidly, making it seem as though he had multiple arms, and yelled Gomu Gomu no Gatling. Hyuga then started to pour out chakra of his chakra points, and spun rapidly, before yelling Kaiten, Heavenly Spin, making Naruto's arms spin off course before snapping back to him. When Neji's spinning finally stopped, he was facing Naruto with an arrogant smirk, but on the inside he was raging shit. I can't believe this clanless dead last idiot made me use the Kaiten so early. He decided to play it cool. That was the Kaiten, Hyuga's ultimate defense. You can't get past it, so you might, as well give up. Neji said not to lose his arrogant attitude. Up in the stands, Hyuga Hiashi was amazed that a branch member could know such a technique. What are you so happy about? Naruto said with a smirk. Let me guess, that was one of your trump cards, right? Naruto stated. As he saw a look of shock on the branch of Hyuga's face, he knew he was right. Ha 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 ha. I knew it. I still haven't even shown 25% of what I can do, and I got the running up Emo King to show his trump card already. Naruto laughed at his Hyuga opponent. To say Neji was shocked was an understatement. He was not only shocked, but furious that this clanless, dead last, idiot is going easy on him. Hyuga Neji, last year's Rookie of the Year. When Naruto's laughter finally died down, he looked at Neji with a grin. Though that Kaiten is one hell of a defense. It seems if I want to beat you I'm gonna need to step it up to 50%. Naruto held his right arm like he did before. Gomu Gomu now shoots his arm forward, and Neji dodges to the right this time. Naruto then twangs his arm, and says shotgun, making his arm go in different directions like several bullets, and hits Neji in the face, stomach, and chest, knocking him back several meters. But Neji straightened himself out, and threw 3 kunai through the air, directed at Naruto. Naruto, seeing this, inhales deeply, and says Gomu Gomu no Fusen, balloon. His body suddenly expands, making him look like a balloon, and looks at ground, and exhales fast, propelling him into the air, and out of the way of the kunai. Looking down at Neji, he shoots his right leg forward. Gomu Gomu no Stamp. Neji rolled to the right to see that Naruto's foot made a big crack in the ground, before retracting back to him. Gomu Gomu no Yori, Spear. Putting his 2 feet into a point, Naruto then rockets his 2 legs like that at the Hyuga. Said Hyuga dodged to his right again, and saw the even bigger crack in the ground. Neji looked up to see Naruto falling towards him, and threw a few shuriken at him, thinking he couldn't dodge in midair. Gomu Gomu no Fusen, balloon. Naruto inhaled quickly again, and floated out of the way of the shuriken, before exhaling, and landing a couple meters away from Neji. When he looked up he saw Neji in a weird stance. His arms were stretched out, with his torso bent down a little, and his legs spread. You are within the range of my divination. Neji stated, as he saw that Naruto couldn't properly dodge this. Haki Rakuchiki Neshm, 8 trigrams 64 palms. Up in the stands, the Hyuga clan head was again shocked. That stance, is he going to? Back at the field, Neji charged at Naruto with incredible speed. Haki. 2 strikes. 4 strikes. 8 strikes. 16 strikes. 32 strikes. 64 strikes. With that, Naruto was sent skidding back a good distance. Though was barely on his feet. Finally his legs couldn't hold his weight anymore, so he fell to his knees before falling face first into the ground. When he fell, his hat fell off and rolled foot away from him. Genma walked up in between them and sighed, "I guess that's the end." Genma stated, as he saw Naruto try to get up. Up in the cage booth, the cages were conversing among each other. "That was a good fight. I like the kid's guts, but it was inevitable. I mean using only Taijutsu against a Hyuga. It was a fool's game." The Raikage started with a frown, as he kept watching Naruto struggle to get up. He did say he was only using 50%. Perhaps he underestimated the Hyuga. Stated the Mizukage while slightly disappointed that the cute rubber boy didn't win. Though she hit it well. "I'm slightly disappointed that I couldn't see more of this Gomu Gomu no Mi," said he disguise, saying how he felt. "Well, the proctor hasn't called the match yet, so he still has a chance," said the Hokage, silently praying that Naruto would get up and say "I'm okay." So Konoha didn't train there. Pity he would have made a good sparring partner. Yujito thought, and at the same time, told her about the demon. "And mate." Nibi chipped in, making the blonde Kumonin blush, and stuttered in her mind. In the stands Hiashi was thinking what incredible talent. To think that a branch member, who cannot succeed the clan, has inherited Hyuga's bloodline limit ability so strongly. Hisashi, perhaps you should have succeeded the Hyuga family. Down on the field, Neji was taunting Naruto, "I hit all 64 in your body. You cannot stand up anymore," Neji stated, as Naruto still tried to get up and fight. Mortifying, isn't it? You are on your knees against a power you cannot face, finding out how truly powerless you are. This was your fate. Why don't you take that fake crap and go shove it up your ass? Naruto said angrily. Neji only smirked. Hard work is an illusion. It is fate that you are born strong. Everything else. Neji stopped mid-sentence and looked at the hat at his feet and stepped on it. It's a lie. Naruto's eyes were wide, and he was furious. How dare this asshole step on his precious hat, the hat that gave him the courage to stand up and fight on like his previous wearer. Neji saw this emotion and smirked, then decided to grind it with his foot. Naruto was able to get up on one knee. "I swear to God, Neji, if you don't get your fucking arrogant Hyuga foot off my hat now, I'll kill you very, very slowly," Naruto said in a low voice that promised pain. Neji didn't hear this voice, and continued. "How about I tell you about the Hyuga's fate of hatred? Same, as in the canon. And in this match, your fate was decided when I became your opponent." Neji finished his speech about the seal on his forehead, the Hyuga curse, the Kumo incident, all while his foot never left Naruto's straw hat. Naruto finally had enough, and stretched his right arm backwards, Gomu Gomu no bullet, punching Neji in the stomach, pushing Neji back a good couple of feet. Then Naruto suddenly started to laugh. It started out as a snicker, then a chuckle, and then full-blown laughter. Finally, after a couple seconds, he calmed down enough to talk. "Ha ha ha. Oh, that's rich. The slave is as arrogant as a corrupt businessman. Oh, that's hilarious." While Naruto was laughing, Neji was, well, if looks could kill, Naruto would be 12 feet under. When Naruto stopped laughing, he instantly glared at Neji. "You think you're better than everyone else because you beat up a girl." Naruto then started to stand up, and succeeded, though his torso was hunched over, and his breathing was a bit hard. "I hate to burst your bubble, but that just makes you a coward," Naruto said with a glare. "Do you think Hinata likes those seals? Do you honestly think that Hinata likes the pain those things give you? Well, I hate to burst your little bubble, but the fact is she hates them as much as you do," Naruto continued, making Neji glare at him. "That's a lie. She's like all the other Hyuga who used the seal," Neji yelled, trying to make his case known to all. "If that's so, then why didn't she use it on you during the preliminaries?" Mr. Almighty Hyuga, it's because she hates that seal. It's why the main branch of the Hyuga clan doesn't accept her. It's because she won't use the seal on disobedient slaves like you. Didn't you notice it? She's nice and kind, and always tries to avoid fighting when it's not needed. You hate her because she was kidnapped against her will. You hate her because she's weak, and uses her own strength to fight you. You hate her because other people branded you with a seal that can cause you incredible pain. But answer me, this Neji, has anyone ever used the caged bird seal on you? Neji, Naruto yelled at Neji, trying to get him to see it his way. Neji, on the other hand, was shocked. It was true that his caged bird seal had never been activated, and it was true that Hinata could have activated him at any time during their match. It was also true that Hinata didn't wish to be kidnapped or have his father sacrificed. You were selfish, thinking that you were the only one suffering. Hinata had to live with the ridicule of her father and clan, hated by the branch members for being one of the main branches, and the main branch for being weak. Tell me, Neji, how good it felt to bring her self-consciousness to an all-time low. Naruto finished. Up in the stands, Hinata was grabbing onto the front of her shirt, her eyes shadowed by her hair. Naruto-kun. I said I would become Hokage, and I will. I said I'd make you regret hurting Hinata-chan like you did, and I will. I said I would protect everyone precious to me, and I will. Fate doesn't rule my choices, I do. Anyone who says otherwise is an asshole who should take his fate into a bedroom and fuck it. Naruto yelled, making Neji fume. Crouching down, torso still hunched over, he bends his legs and places his left on his knee, the other in a closed fist on the ground. Play Naruto Shippuden Ost emergence of talents. His arms and legs suddenly started to pump up and down like springs, his skin started to turn pink, and what looked like steam came off of his skin. Dear second. Naruto stated the name of this technique. Neji raised an eyebrow at this. How was steaming supposed to beat him? Naruto then got into a strange stance with his knees bent, left arm stretched with his palm facing Neji, his right hand in a fist behind him, leveled with his head. Luffy's gear second stance. Gomu Gomu no Naruto got ready to launch his attack, and Neji got ready to dodge. Jet Neji frowned at this. Was this a new attack? Pistol. When Naruto punched his fist at Neji, it looked like some invisible force, followed by a shock wave, blew Neji away from the spot he once occupied. When Neji looked up, he activated his Byakugan, only to see Naruto behind him in the air. Gomu Gomu no Jet Stamp. Naruto screamed as he launched his foot at Neji, catching him in the back, sending him face first to the ground. Gomu Gomu no Jet Missile. Grabbing onto Neji, he rockets his body at Neji, body slamming into him at blinding speeds. Appearing in front of Neji, a couple meters away in the same stance as before. I'll finish this in one more attack, Neji. Naruto stated calmly, as he saw Neji getting up with blood running down his forehead. Neji got into the 64 palm stance, Haki Rakuchikin SHM, 8 trigrams 64 palms. Then Neji charged at Naruto, fully intent on finishing this fight on one more attack, as well. Right when he was about to hit Naruto, said blonde vanished. Neji, seeing the blonde vanish, was able to see out of his Byakugan that the steaming was behind him, in a weird stance with both arms behind him. Quickly pouring chakra on him, thinking the blonde was going to do another one of those cannon-like punches, he starts to spin, Kaiten. Naruto on the other hand had a better idea. Gomu Gomu no Jet Naruto then disappeared in front of the Kaiten, arms back at the place where his body once occupied, and yelled, Bazooka. But instead of rolling like before, his hands broke through the Kaiten, heading towards the white-eyed Hyuga. Pain. That's all Neji could feel. As two pink hands impacted with his stomach launching his body through the arena wall. Finally skidding to a stop, after 100 feet or so, he started to lose consciousness, but not before thinking, heh. So, this is what it's like to lose. It hurts a lot. Is this what Hinata-sama felt? I should rethink my fate. And with that, Neji lost consciousness. The blonde devil fruit user's skin went back to normal. And even though he was hunched over, the crowd could tell that he was smirking. Finally standing up straight, his eyes were shadowed by his hair. He walked over to his flattened hat, popped it back to normal, dusted it off, and placed it around his neck. Whew. That was a good fight. Man, I'm hungry. Naruto whined, as he sat in the middle of the arena cross-legged, and then opened up his pouch, and pulled out a piece of meat, then took a bite out of it. Everyone in the stands was shocked. The ones most shocked were the Hyugas, simply at the fact that a dead last ninja like Naruto defeated the Kaiten with pure brute strength. They were all shocked by the fact that Naruto suddenly turned pink, and started to steam, and suddenly had the power to defeat Neji, the Hyuga prodigy. Gemma was the first to get out of his shock, and motioned for medics to check on Neji. When he saw them tending to Neji's wounds, one of the field medics looked at the proctor, and shook his head, signaling that Neji wouldn't be walking anytime soon. Gemma sighed, and looked at Naruto still eating his meat, and smiled at Shaosha, winner, Uzumaki d Naruto. Gemma yelled at the crowd, watching them also get out of their shock state. And slowly, one by one, they all started to clap until the entire arena was filled with cheers. Naruto then looked up after finishing his meat, and gave his famous foxy grin. He then starts walking around the arena waving his hands, and blowing kisses to all the women making them blush. Two cloaked figures in the stand were watching the blonde, while one was thinking, so that's the demon that took over the clan heir's body. Interesting. The other cloaked figure was thinking, I knew I was right when I entrusted that fruit to him. He's really carrying on the will of the D. Before vanishing. Up in the cage booth. Sarutobi was thinking, same old Naruto, but I think we found our first dot, though I might wait until one more match for the final decision. He was thinking along the lines of, punching through pure chakra with nothing but brute force. Amazing. Is this the full power of that fruit? Or was this only a fraction? May watches the blonde eat the piece of meat, and smirks. It seems I was right, he would make a fine husband indeed. I just need to make it happen. Hokage Dono, I have never seen an ability like that, but from what he said he got it from a fruit. Can you enlighten, as to how this came to be? Said the Mizukage, as she saw the Uzumaki boy, who was running around blowing kisses to the woman, then looked at her, and Yujido, and winked, making both of them blush, Chijiro fume, and the Hokage smirk. You'll have to ask him that yourself, Mizukage Dono. The Hokage said, as he watched, as the blonde focused on a particular girl. Seeing the girl in particular, Naruto grinned, and stretched his arms out, and grabbed the balcony ledge, and yelled, Gomu Gomu no Rocket, and slingshots himself towards Hinata, the Hyuga heirs. Landing on the ledge with his hat around his neck, he gives his trademark foxy smile. Yo, Hinata-chan. How are you feeling today? Naruto asks, trying to make small talk. I'm feeling better about Naruto-kun, stuttered Hinata, whose face was as red as a cherry. That's a relief. I was really worried about you the entire month. You really had me scared there. I thought Neji did a lot more damage. Naruto said with a sigh of relief. You were worried about me? Hinata asked, getting even redder in the face. Of course I was worried about you. You're my friend after all. It's natural I should be worried after you took a beating like that. Though I did keep my promise and kick Neji's ass, huh? If he ever tries to pull that fate controls everything crap again, just come get me, and I'll do it again. Naruto finished, holding his bicep and jinning. This was interrupted however, when Radio Sunshine next to Naruto, Uzumaki-san. The Hokage wishes for your presence immediately. Okay. Well, I guess Jiji wants me for something. I hope to see you later, Hinata-chan. Jana, see you. When Radio reached for the blind, said blonde faced the cages, and cocked his arm back, and let it fly towards the leaders. Gripping on the railing, he rockets toward them with speed that would make Guy and Lee jealous. Naruto then did a front flip, and stood up straight. Yo Jiji, what did you need? Naruto asked, not caring in the least at the shocked looks coming from the other ninja, at the disrespect that he showed his village leader. The Hokage only laughed at this. Ah, Naruto-kun. It's good to see that you're so lively, despite the fact that you got hit with one of the Hyuga's strongest techniques. Sarutobi finished, as he saw Naruto only laugh, and pat his stomach. All I need is some food, and I'm good, as new. So what is it you wanted to say, Jiji? Naruto finished looking at the Hokage with a small smile. Right? It's about your interesting abilities. Would you mind telling me a bit more about them? The Hokage asked kindly, trying not to pry too much. I already told you I ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi. It's an Akuma no Mi which turns my body into rubber. Naruto said, getting irritated as to what part of that people didn't get. Would you mind being a little more specific? Asked the Sandane. Naruto let out a sigh and looked at the foreign nin, then back at the Hokage with a look that clearly said, Are you sure you want me to tell you with all these foreign ninjas here? The Hokage only nodded. Naruto then let out another sigh and started his explanation. Okay, but don't interrupt me. First, as you heard, I ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi and Akuma no Mi. The Akuma no Mi are fruits that grant the user different powers. Since I ate the Gomu Gomu no Mi, my body is now rubber. There are 3 types of Akuma no Mi. Paramecia. These fruits give the users a superhuman power which can affect their body or ability to manipulate the environment. Zone. This type of fruit allows the user to transform into an animal-human hybrid forms at will. And finally, Loja. It is commonly characterized by giving its user the ability to turn into a natural element. That's the basic knowledge. You can now ask your questions. Naruto finished. The Hokage spoke up. Where did you get such a fruit, and how come I haven't heard of him? Sarutobi finished and watched as Naruto took off his straw hat and smiled before replying. I got mine from a senile old man. And the reason you haven't heard of them before is because I ate the last one. The rest died out over 1,000 years ago. Naruto finished as he put his hat back on. The next question came from the Reikage. Why is it called an Akuma no Mi? Naruto looked at the Reikage and replied. Devil fruit is said to be the fruit of the sea devil, and that the secret to their power is hidden in the Grand Line. Because encounters with them are rare, especially outside the Grand Line, a number of rumors about them have risen, making it difficult to tell whether some things are fact or fiction. The average person knows nothing or very little about what they are. Because of their power, if sold they can expect to reach well over 100 million bili, and devil fruit users themselves are sold at market prices, as slaves. Naruto stated, as though he was a teacher in a school. The Hokage had one more question. How do you know all of this? From what you told us, either this old man told you or you got this information from somewhere else. The Hokage asked, the others also wondering. I got all the information from this book. Naruto then reached into his pouch, and pulled out an old-looking book with the title One Piece. This old book has all the information about devil fruits, swordsmanship, cooking, medicine, navigation, and a story. It's about a pirate by the name of Monkey D. Luffy who wanted to become the Pirate King. So he went on an adventure, and gathered, and sailed the Grand Line. An ocean that made the bravest men cower in fear. I've currently read it 25 times. Naruto said proudly, as he watched the looks of amazement in the eyes of the cages. And the only proof that it's all real is this hat. Naruto said, placing it around his neck. The Mizukage asked her question, how did you suddenly turn pink, start smoking, and then blast through the Hyuga's Kaiten? That question was on everyone's mind. That was my gear second form. I pump blood rapidly using my legs to kickstart the process, which in turn increases the speed of my blood flow, thus providing more oxygen and nutrients to various parts of my body, which makes me faster and stronger. It uses even more oxygen and energy, hence using up more food, and I have to breathe harder. This causes me to be hungrier or lying on the floor after a long usage of it. It compares to taking a stimulant. In my case, all of my organs are made up of rubber, so they can expand and contract, allowing the blood to move at an increased speed, without stressing any internal organs, such as the blood vessels and the heart, without causing it to explode. This mode's enhancements to my physiology gives me the ability to use a new set of attacks which are generally the same as my old ones, but are so fast that even a skilled assassin would have a hard time actually seeing them. Although it increases my strength, it lowers my life force drastically, increasing a chance of having a much shorter life because I'm starving my body. Naruto states, making everyone there wide-eyed at the level of intelligence behind such a deadly technique. The Kazukiage was the next to speak up. Excuse me, Naruto-san. But are there any weaknesses to these Akuma no Mi? That's everyone leaning forward, a secret. Naruto said, making everyone faceplant with a grin. Telling everyone my weakness is stupid. And unlike back then, where everyone knew, I have no intention telling everyone. I'll only tell those I trust with my life. If someone figures it out that I don't want to, I'll beat them until they forget. Naruto finished with a grin and punched his palm. Chijiro stood forward. I have a question. What's a bazooka? Everyone, as well, wanted this answer. This time Naruto's sweat dropped. I'll explain it later. Naruto said dully. Thank you for telling us about this, Naruto-kun. You can go back with the other competitors. With that, Naruto nodded and shot his arm at the consistency and flew towards the others and landed on the railing before flipping next to the other shock genin. He then placed his hat back onto his head before turning to Shikamaru, who was walking towards him. Mindaki-sai, what a pain in the ass. You're even more troublesome than before. Naruto only grinned at him. At least Shikamaru hadn't changed over the month. Yo, Shikamaru. It's been a while. Shikamaru just nodded and smiled. It seems you've gotten stronger in the month, huh? Shikamaru said, and watched as Naruto smiled and rubbed the back of his head. Do you think so? I was really worried that I might have underestimated Neji too much, but all it took was 60%. Though when he sealed up my chakra, it made me worried. Naruto said, looking at the shock of everyone there, even Shino, though you couldn't see it. 60%. I doubt Sasuke could have done that even with the Sharingan at 60%. Shikamaru yelled uncharacteristically. I guess that's just how awesome I am. Naruto said, pointing to himself. Everyone there sweat dropped. By the way, where's Sasuke? I didn't see him at the opening ceremony. Naruto wondered if Kakashi gave Sasuke his bad habits, as well as training. Dunno, but if he doesn't show up for his match he'll be disqualified. Shikamaru replied, as he saw the crowd go into an uproar. In the private booth, the cages were talking. The crowd is noisy. The disguised Kazukiage said. It was a nice battle. Responding to the Hokage. The Sannin looked over at the Hokage and said, yes. That too, but Sarutobi looked back at him. But the next match is something the head ninja and the feudal lords are highly anticipating. By the way, I did not see him at the opening ceremony, but he is already here, correct? The Hokage didn't answer. Radio then leaned into the ear of the Hokage. We still have not located Sasuke. And there's the Orochimaru thing. Perhaps we should disqualify him before everyone causes an uproar. Radio started before I spoke up. I'm not just going to sit here and wait for some brat who thinks making us wait is good because he wants to make an entrance. If he simply ignores a direct order from the Hokage to show up on time and doesn't have a good excuse, he shouldn't even be in the Chunin exams. I agree with Reikage Dono. You gave an order to one of your shinobi to arrive at the exams on time, and it isn't a clear sign of insubordination. In Kurigakure we do not tolerate this. Uchiha Hinata is a shinobi, and if he doesn't act like one, he shouldn't be one. Not that I'm questioning your leadership skills, Hokage Dono, said Mei, as she looked at Sarutobi. Naruto slightly heard the conversation and frowned. Looking over at Shikamaru he asks, Hey Shikamaru. Can you do me a favor and grab my legs? Shikamaru looks over at Naruto like he's crazy, then sees Naruto shoot his arm over at the cages and grabs on the edge. Shikamaru gets the idea, and right when Naruto starts to rocket over to them, he grabs his legs. Mindaki-sai. When Naruto, or at least his torso, was finally over there, he smiled again at the surprised Hokage. Hey there again, Gigi. Do you mind if you move Sasuke's match to after Shikamaru's? And if he doesn't show by his match, you can eliminate him with no ifs, ands, or buts. Naruto asked, hoping he would. And why do you want that, Naruto-kun? The Hokage asked, hoping for him to shed some light on the situation. Well, you see, if Sasuke doesn't show up by his match, I get to face Scar, who by the is probably the strongest genin here except for me. And if Sasuke does show up and wins, I get to face him, and since he would have just gotten out of a match, you could give him 5 minutes to rest before facing me tired, as punishment. Naruto said, making everyone go wide-eyed at the intelligence behind it. So basically, you want to move his match for your own benefits, said he, making Naruto grin sheepishly and rub the back of his head before almost snapping back to his legs. And if you do it, I'll tell you how to defeat paperwork, Naruto said, grinning at the shock of the others. As they know the horrors of paperwork, I'll do whatever, Sarutobi yelled, hoping to defeat the dreaded paperwork. Naruto grinned and said 2 words that made the shinobi there drop their jaws at the answer that Kage has spent years trying to figure out. Kage Bunshin. Well, I'll see you, Gigi. With that, Naruto let go of the ledge, rocketing back to Shikamaru, who in turn, was wide-eyed before that slammed into him making fall onto his back, and Naruto's head into the wall, kicking up dust. The Hokage stood up to the railing, and began his speech. I'm sorry for the delay, but Sasuke's match will be moved to after Nara Shikamaru's fight. But if he is late by 1 second, he will be eliminated. No ifs, ands, or buts. Making the crowd groan, but reluctantly agree. The Hokage then walked behind his chair, took off his hat, reeled back, and yelled, "Baka, idiot," and smashed his head into the wall making spider-web cracks, and everyone winced. Putting his hat back on, he walks back, and sits back in his chair with blood coming down his face. Hokage-sama. Are you okay? Questioned Radio. I'm fine with the fact that I learned how to defeat paperwork. I'm not fine with the fact that a genin helped me come up with the idea to do so. The Hokage fumed before sighing. Though, I guess he is his son after all. Finally pulling his head out of the wall to hear the Hokage's announcement, he smiled. Shikamaru looked funny. Does that mean my match is coming up faster? Naruto only smiled at him. You're welcome. Genma decided to speak up. Next matchup, Kankuro and Abiram Shino. Calm down. Kankuro was sweating while thinking, my match isn't even important. Shino got ready to go, while Kankuro's sensei, Baki, cursed. Kankuro thought, besides, I don't want to show Karasu hidden before the plan. Kankuro looked over at Temari, who nodded, before looking over at the proctor. Examiner, I'm giving up. Everyone looked shocked at this. I'm giving up on going to the next match. Though Shino's face didn't say anything, he was upset at why he forfeited. The crow wasn't happy at all, and started to yell. Gemma closed his eyes before opening them, and speaking. Kankuro has given up, therefore Abiram Shino wins by default. The crowd wasn't happy at all. Temari decides to intervene by grabbing her fan, and flipping it open, causing a gust of wind to blow on the others. When the rest were able to see, they saw Temari floating down on her fan. Gemma then asked, you are? Temari responded, it's my turn, right? Looks like you want to do this. Yosh, we're going to start the next match. Oi, the other one, get down here. Gemma said while looking at Shikamaru. Oi, why are you guys getting excited? Actually, why do I have to be the one who gets his matchups changed so frequently? Shikamaru asks himself. Gemma said it again, Nara Shikamaru, it's you. Shikamaru cursed, Kuzo, I should just copy the other guy, and give up Gomu Gomu no Mikata. Shikamaru felt hands grab onto him, and throw him back. Seeing it was Naruto, he was wondering what the blonde was going to do, before he started to move towards the railing at a fast pace. Mikata rocket, ally rocket. Shikamaru screamed, as he left over the side of the ledge, crashing down in front of Genma. Get your ass up, and fight, Shikamaru. Naruto yelled, as he saw him on his back, on the ground. People started to throw garbage on him, and yell. Long story short, Shikamaru caught Temari in his shadow, and they are now standing in front of each other with their hands raised. Like in the canon, everyone was as tense as Shikamaru, and Temari in his Kajime no Jutsu, shadow imitation technique. Choji was eating chips at a faster pace, and everyone looked nervous. I give up, Shikamaru said, shocking the whole stadium. The entire stadium then shouted, Nani. I use up too much chakra using the Kajime no Jutsu too many times. I can only hold you for an additional 10 seconds. So, I've thought about 200 possible moves, but time's up. Temari had a look of shock on her face. It's too troublesome to do more. One match is good enough for me. Gemma smirked at Shikamaru, and thought, what a weird guy. Before saying, Shaosha, Temari. Shikamaru rubbed his shoulder, and said, I'm tired. Naruto wasn't happy at all. Why did he give up? What an idiot. Now I'm getting mad. Gomu Gomu no bunk. Naruto said while throwing his arm into the air, and bringing it down on Shikamaru's head. While that was happening, the cages were talking. Just like Nar. When things get too troublesome, they give up. He shouted. As he watched Naruto and Shikamaru argue. He did show amazing intellect and strategy. I think he will make a fine dot, said Mei, as she watched the blonde. Yes, I think so, as well. But on a more important note. Radio. Is Sasuke here yet? Radio leaned into the Hokage's ear, and started speaking. The Hokage closed his eyes before opening them, standing up, and walked towards the balcony. Uchiha Sasuke is disqualified. The Hokage yelled over the angry shouts of the crowd. This made them yell louder. Silence. We gave Sasuke more than enough time to come, and he didn't. His own teammate tried to stall for him, but I won't let his tardiness and disregard for time stop those that have come here early. Genma, proceed with the exams. The Hokage yells, making it silent. Genma turned to the crowd. Next match, Uzumaki d Naruto and Gar. Will the two competitors please come down to the arena floor? Genma said, looking at Naruto and his redeemed opponent. Naruto only nodded with a frown, not upset with Jiji, but with Sasuke. He just lost Konoha a lot of clients for this stunt. Naruto looked over at the sand user and smirked. At least one of them gets to face Gar. Said redeemed, rhymes. used sand shunshin to get to where Genma was while Naruto jumped over the edge and landed in a crouch with his hat shadowing his eyes and started his stretches. Before he can finish them, a swirl of leaves comes around in the middle of the arena. When the leaves cleared, it showed an older male in an outfit, the other one was wearing an all-black jumpsuit. These figures were Hada Kakashi and his genin, Uchiha Sasuke, in all their glory. Kakashi looked up from his book and smiled sheepishly. Are we late? Genma stared at her with an annoyed look. Actually you are. Please step off the field so the match may begin. Genma said, looking at the redhead who was glaring at Sasuke and the blonde who was still stretching, not at all fazed by the appearance of the two. What? Why am I disqualified? Sasuke shouted, thinking that they could wait for him. You're lucky to have had your match pushed back after your teammate begged the Hokage. Now, would you please step off the field so we can start the match? Genma said, looking at the blonde finish his stretches. Sasuke was about to retort when he felt a hand on his shoulder. Looking back, he saw Kakashi lean down into his ear and whisper something no one except the blonde next to them could hear, making him pissed. Sasuke, don't worry about it. I'll talk to the Hokage to see if you can fight. In the meantime, let Gaara beat Naruto, then you can face him. He saw Sasuke nod and shunshined him into the stands. Genma sighed before starting the match. Let the next match between Uzumaki D Naruto and Gaara begin. With that, the crowd roared, and Naruto smirked before cracking his knuckles and stating, "Let's go." Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.